So, welcome to game number 1 here between B and IamMagic. B going to be spawning in here on the left-hand side of the map. Immediately going to be moving out with his villagers onto this deer pack. He is playing as the French, so more than happy to do this. Cheaper mill and cheaper survival techniques will mean he is extremely happy to do this. But who's he going to be facing up against today?
It is going to be IamMagic spawning in as the Delhi Sultanate on the right-hand side here on Dry Arabia. Opening up with the mosque, opening up with the berries, getting all of them boosted up, and getting his vegetarian diet going for the time being.
I love this opening out of B. He's been doing this with every single civilization. I think it's just so cool.
Doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
wait. Oh, are we going to be seeing a Chamber of Commerce?
No.
I doubt we will be seeing it. He's up against the Delhi here.
No trade. No.
I mean,
I don't want to hear you talk about it. I don't want trade.
I would love to see it. But I doubt that's going to be the case here up against the Delhi. You know, you're wanting to put on a lot of aggression here. You want to try and deny away these sacred sites away from the Delhi. So I doubt we'll be seeing it. But if there's any a player to do it, I think it is going to be B. Did you see?
So B here, he's moving out with a lot of villagers onto this deer. And the reason he can actually get away with this is because, remember, we talked about this earlier, the Delhi Sultanate takes some time. They're not going to be putting on some very, very early pressure like the French is. So, you know, he can just chill on this deer pack, just collect himself and, you know, just kind of just chill. And when the time comes, he'll move back home and start gathering up some sheep.
He's actually gathering a little bit here from the sheep, so not sending every villager out. There's got to be some sort of maths behind this. I guess 8 villagers? There's got to be something behind that, because it's kind of interesting that he hasn't sent these 2 out either. So
I think what he's going for is an exceptionally early night here. Like, we talked about this earlier, or, well, a while back when this strategy first started to emerge with B going for it, survival techniques. It seems very bad on paper when you think about it. It's a lot of walking time. You get an upgrade. It's all this kind of stuff. But somehow your age up, because of deer gathering speed is so bursted up and so boosted, you still have the same age up timing as if you didn't do it.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And we see B going for a school of cavalry pretty far away from his main town center there. Magic, on the other hand, going to be aging up here with the Tower of Victory. We discussed this. The Tower of Victory here is pretty important in this matchup for that extra attack speed with your... Especially when it comes to, you know, spearmen and archers. It's something you really, really need up against the French in this matchup. Otherwise, it just feels like you're taking terrible fights half the time.
Yeah, and it's again, right, it's the Tower of Victory. We do have... It's weird with the Delhi right now. I think they're in a very... It's in a very good position because it's so coin flip as to people, right? It's personal preference, which is exactly the spot where you want landmarks if you go Dome of the Fate of Tower of Victory. Certain matchups does force you to go into Tower of Victory, like the French, I feel like, but you could still get away with going Dome of Faith on this matchup.
True. I like this decision here out of Magic, though.
Oh, yeah.
But B...
Don't get me wrong, like, I still like the Tower of Victory. I'm a Tower of Victory enjoyer. And I'm really happy with the change they did a while back, you know, making it a influence like the mosque instead of a radius around it, which always felt a little bit wonky to me, so...
Yeah, definitely. This change, it makes a lot of sense, right? And it also means you can have production elsewhere as well that still gets affected by this landmark. So that was a great change for the Delhi. But B, he's getting his first night out very early here, so going to be feeling very happy about that. Going to be rallied towards the base of Magic here. Magic already has some spears on the way, though. We see the first one, as well as the hardened upgrade on the way.
Yeah, again, right, it's for the people here who doesn't play that much Age of Empires. I hope there's some people out there. who likes to watch. The Delhi Sultanate, they get all of their upgrades for free. The issue is it takes a little bit longer to actually get them.
Yeah, exactly. We see
they
here.
can be boosted up by some mosques and the scholars inside of it. We do now see that then, you know, you will just hop in there and boost that up just a little bit, get that going. So, you know, not that gold reliance on in the feudal age, but still, you know, want to get some gold, wants to get those sacred sites as they're able to pick up that sacred site in age 2 and get 50% more gold, I believe it is. But now we do see Spearman here trying to go
nice brace coming out from Magic right there. Great damage onto that Royal Knight. B, he's gonna have to fall back with that one as we have a second and third Spearman now out for Magic. I love what he's done here, by the way. We can see he's made use of the berries while B hasn't had any knights out on the field, but as soon as the first one comes in, he's evacuated away his villagers and he's now put them onto the sheep. I love this move a lot. It just stops any raids coming through. Minimizes
yeah,
them.
and it's basically the same idea as the dare opening, right? You take out the furthest resource, and then when you get put pressure on, you fall back and you start to take your safe, right? And imagine now you were Magic taking the sheep, and you're now running out of sheep, and you now suddenly need to move out on those berries. Good luck.
He's up to 4 knights now. He's going very heavy when it comes to knights. He's actually got double stable, and now he's going to be adding in an archery range.
For a second there, while the compression kicked in, I was like, triple stable? But no, it's luckily going to be an archery range here. So we will be going into that knight-archer combination. We will see, right, we do see Magic here. He's moving into horse spear, which is a little bit weird to me, but those horses are probably just to do exactly what he's doing right now, which is to put on some pressure onto B.
At the same time, B is looking to put pressure onto Magic here. That's going to be a dead knight.
Dead knight.
It gets away on 1 HP. Wow. That's lucky there for B. I'm sure we'll have chivalry coming through soon for him. As we see B, he's out here on the board. Needs to be careful of this villager. Down to 5 HP. You definitely want to drop down a tower on this position as Magic. He did spot that one out, so, you know, maybe you even want to send this one home because, yeah, there we go. Tower going to be coming.
So, again, right, it's the French with the ability to move out on the map, right? Because we do see how Magic is just condensed into his base. We do see him now moving out, walling up the sacred site because he needs to get some form of gold income at least. But the French, you know, against a lot of other civilizations, the Abbasids, the Ajari, they can take out these Gaia resources that's out on the map, and taking the boar, which is the fastest gathering resource we have in the game, which also is boosted up by spiral techniques, just provides so much value.
It seems like Magic is going to be able to secure himself up the first sacred site of the game. Also getting off a little bit of idle time here or there, but B is going to come back with that knight. So Magic is going to be able to get himself 1 sacred site here. It's going to be some decent gold income, but 1 isn't... It's nice, right? But 2 is the sort of number you want to be getting to here with the Delhi. I mean, preferably you'd want all 3, but 2 is what you're looking for at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and again, right, it's 150 gold a minute per sacred site, so we will take a little bit of time to get up to the next stage, get that 600 gold. But you also got to remember these scholars, when you don't go the Dome of Faith, it's 130 gold per scholar instead of the 90. So it's expensive if you want to get some scholars out, either to heal up your army as a fight that has been nerfed though, or you can put some of those scholars inside of buildings to boost the research speed and production speed. So you kind of have to choose and balance where you want to go with it.
Yeah, that is true. We can see Magic only does have the 2 scholars. They're really expensive, right? So you don't want to be losing them. And you know, maybe if you went with the Dome of the Faith build, you'd just be sending a scholar out here, you know, just randomly, just like, oh yeah, go try capture the sacred site. But you can't be doing that with the Tower Victory build. So Magic, he's taking his time with this.
And it's worth noting as well, right? I had this idea when I first started playing Delhi, right? It's like sacred site, the earliest sacred site possible, it's good, right? Because you get that timer going. But Delhi doesn't really care about the sacred site timer as much. It's just nice to have in your back, just in their back pocket, just that mental timer. But oftentimes it can really be a little bit of a bait for yourself, right? Because you're just so focused on protecting the sacred sites, when instead you can just steamroll down the opponent's base.
It looks like B's going to be trying to burn this one down. Magic's army out of position for the time being. Looking to wall up this second sacred site. So it seems like B will be able to get through. And we see B at the moment has a huge mass of knights. We see they're relatively even in army value, but most of that for B is in knights. And most of that is in spearmen for Magic. And as we all know, spearmen counter knights. So Magic, he's got to be, he's got to be feeling pretty happy about his composition right here. But B, he's got a lot of knights, and if he can pull off some good raids here, as we see Magic, he's going to be looking to move out onto the berries. If these villagers get caught out by these knights, that could be really rough for Magic.
I honestly want to go as far as to say that Magic should just wall in his right side of the base here and just make sure that it doesn't get any knight raids in.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We do see, like, again, right, we often talk about how knights, they are counted by spears, but it's kind of a meme at the same time. But because you need the appropriate amount of spears to actually counter, but Magic has that appropriate amount. It's 2-to-1 roughly right now, and that is a good number for spears against knights.
We did actually see that B managed to pick off 2 Delhi Scholars. That's going to be 260 gold gone for Magic. And, Magic's also going to be losing the Sacred Site. It seems like he's going to be able to reclaim it, though.
Should be able to get it, right? He can also wall it in if he so pleases. These knights are going to be running around, so have to keep track of them. Has to just running around. They are going to be running away from the spears, but at the same time, Magic not going up to castle, still getting his upgrade, still fighting in Feudal, just going heavy deep into spears, and we do see now B starting to move into a 1-1-1 comp. So we'll have to will be interesting to see what he decides to do behind this, if he wants to put on some extra pressure, a ram push perhaps, but it doesn't have... We did talk about it. It never went to town centers.
Yeah, that's interesting, actually. Both sticking to the 1 TC. Obviously, the French, they've got the slightly faster production speed, so they are going to be making a couple... they're going to be slightly ahead, but Magic there picks off 3 villagers. We see there 3 kills for him. He's got to be feeling pretty happy about that one. Be at the same time going to be moving in with the knights, just trying to find as many villagers as he possibly can. As we see, he's just going to be committing to this fight here. Only a couple spears. Definitely a fight that he can take here.
Spears counter knights, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes sense when Magic has such low numbers.
Yeah. We do have to say, though, right, it is Tower of Victory Spear, so we do have that 20% extra attack speed. We do have a fight now, though. Could be a little bit bad for B here. Losing a couple of knights, will lose a couple more on the way out, it seems, unless he's able to sneak them throughout the base of Magic. And he will be, as this is so much idle time here for Magic.
Yeah, it's a lot of idle time. There's 13 villagers there that have been trying to chop wood for like the last minute that have been unable to gather, and Magic... He's had to drop down a market here to just do a little bit of market trading. As B going to be running in with more knights, still sitting at a reasonable number, 15. That's a lot. And B behind this is just adding in more and more archers.
Yeah, and again, right, Magic is going deep. He's committing to the spear numbers, and those spears is countered by archers, and that's a little bit of a better counter system, as one archer can probably deal with 2 or more. Or 1 or 2 spears quite easily. So now Magic has set on a timer. He has started researching black rams with that siege engineering in the back. Same cannot be said for B, as he's still trying to find a way to get more villager kills. Has a lot of knights here and taking the sacred sites. I
gotta say, B's army's looking pretty scary right now. He's got through his melee attack as well as his ranged attack. Magic, on the other hand, he's about to have through all 4 of his blacksmith upgrades. And he's just got a huge mass of spears. Have a look at that. 40. He's got 52 on the map at
He's
the
got
moment.
more spares than villagers right now, and that number could increase as a couple of villagers there tanking up a little bit. Knights now moving in, spears doing a lot of damage. These are not absent spears with that extra increased range, so they will be targeting down the archers right now. Still moving in, Knights or raid coming in from Magic as well now, and now this fight is turning well for Magic right now. Sportsman still in the mix, able to do a little bit of extra damage here, but
Have a look at the army value.
Dwindling.
Army value for B just got demolished. 2,000 army value just taken out just like that. Now Magic's looking in a really strong position. We still see so many spears for him. Archer mass for B almost non-existent. He's down to 9. And now behind this is a perfect time for Magic to capture up both of these sacred sites. We see the northern one has been captured. The central one will be taken very shortly as well. And that's when Magic can start to look towards that castle age.
Yeah, and I do have to criticize B here a little bit. Look at the blacksmith upgrades he has. He doesn't have melee upgrade armor, so those spears were doing full damage to those archers, which is what B was most afraid of. He needed to keep those archers alive to keep the spear numbers from Magic down, but he was not able to, and now the sacred site timer will be starting to tick. And look at Magic's food number right now. He is going castle.
He sure is. And we take a look at B's food economy right now. It's in shambles. Only 500 food a minute. He's finally recovered that. He's got 18 villagers back on the food, but you know, it's really slowed down the production. And as a result of that, he's only got the 9 knights out, the 8 spears. And, you know, production slowed down quite a bit. And we can see Magic still far ahead with that army value, despite going to be going up to castle age in a matter of seconds.
And again, right now is the perfect time to talk about the sacred site timer. It's just a mental...
Hello? Hello? What is this? How's civil learning? Okay. This is something that I've not seen in like a year.
So, okay. I think Magic's idea is to actually start spamming man-at-arms, get that upgrade for, I have zero clue what that upgrade is called anymore, but get those better man-at-arms and just start trickling down into B's army. Yes, there is some knights there that does counter man-at-arms, but they don't care.
Interesting. I mean, it's been so long since we've seen this landmark, right? It's always the compound of the defender that we've been seeing. So we'll have to see how it does for Magic, but as you say, I think it's honed blades. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. That's the upgrade he's going to be looking for.
Okay, I think you will press RQWE. I think that's the order.
Yeah, there you go.
I still remember it from like years. But yeah, so again, right, Magic is in a super good position, right? He's going up to castle. He's now getting his upgrade. If you quickly hover over honed blades, how long will it actually take?
So it's a while. It's a while. Almost 3 minutes.
Yeah. So.
And we actually see that Magic. He's going to be starting to add in knights now. So that's what he's going to be looking for here with the House of Learning. That upgrade does affect men-at-arms and the knights. So,
really?
Yeah. It's heavy. Yeah, men-at-arms and lancers.
Okay. Today I learned. Used to be a deli main, by the way. But yeah, again, right, these spare numbers for Magic, right, it comes down a little bit back to B not going second town center here. He's not able to, you know, keep up and build up his eco that he wants to. And now, see B here moving into a huge mass of spears and archers. But again,
we see for B, right, at the moment, he's just being pushed off all of the food sources over here. And he's struggling to pump out. He's struggling to get the age up through, if that is what he's looking for. And if he's looking to stick it out in the feudal age here, you know, French can do that. At the moment, he's still behind in army value, which if you're an age behind, that's not where you want to be. We see Magic's army looking pretty strong now. He's up to 10 lancers. He's almost matching B's number.
Yeah, again, right. It is castle knights or lancers instead of the feudal that the B has, but still there's a lot of spares for the field for B here. So again, with Demu last game, I feel like Man-at-Arms would have been the stronger option in this case, especially when we have God Vision like this. Of course, Magic would be looking different because right now he is having a field day on those archers on the backside here. B taking a pretty decent fight there despite fighting under a tower.
Yeah, 2 towers were there, but we see here B, he's going to have to retreat back. Magic, he's got so many heavily armored units in here. He's got plenty of lancers. He's even got some men-at-arms mixed in here now as well. Let's have a look, see how many he's got. He's got 3 in there, not a huge amount, but it's enough to the point where B isn't going to be able to take this fight, but he can't do anything about it. He's just going to be losing out his whole army here. And behind this Magic, he's looking to pick up the relics. He still has a sacred site in his control. He's looking really, really strong at this point in time because his economy, when it comes to villages, is still relatively even, which is kind of surprising when you're playing up against the French.
Yeah, again, right, if the low-key issue with not going those keeps and not getting the village fortress is the fact that now you're still stuck on one town center. It does allow you to focus more of your economy and your food income onto making army instead of just sustaining villager production. But still, right, it's Magic getting much more value with his villagers by getting these passive upgrades as well.
Yeah, exactly. And we can see Magic, he's looking to just go heavy into just lancers and men-at-arms, both of which do get affected by this honed blades upgrade. So, he's going to be looking really, really strong in a second when this upgrade comes through. We can see it's only 50 seconds away now.
Yeah, this could have been boosted, just as a reminder, right? It could have been boosted by having more scholars instead of mosques, something you don't want to commit to realistically, because it does take some time. But he's still getting those castle-age military upgrades. So he's still, for the time being, he's like somewhat okay, but the second those hit, it's so much harder to actually be taking these fights. And you can actually see B now behind in villager numbers because Magic has just gotten trade after trade here.
Yeah, exactly. You can see there 12 villager kills here for Magic. Again, it's not something we usually see here when playing up against the French. It's usually the French that are the ones getting all the villager kills. As we can see here, B's villagers, they're getting in on the action right there. Unfortunately, does loot 3 of them. As you say, yeah, Home Blades does come in. We can see there now the men-at-arms with their... Oh, yeah, there they go.
Bends the blade just a little bit, and look how much damage you're just able to do. Knights technically counter these guys. I don't see it. And look at the Lancers coming in as well. So many villagers moving around. I don't know how many villagers that are for B, but I'm sure as hell that's maybe like 30. And B is just going to tap out. Magic goes up 1-0 in the series.
Magic taking the first game off B, with B playing on the French, a civilization that he is famous with. I mean, yeah, amazing performance right there from Magic, with the House of Learning as well.
Yeah, I do have to say, right, again, B is not something to, just play around with when it comes to the French, right? It's probably his strongest civ, I want to say. I don't have the stats to back that up, but I want to say that B's French is probably his strongest.
I would say French and Rus.
Yeah, French and Rus. Again, Knight civs. And Magic here coming out with the Delhi, super strong performance there in game number 1.
Yeah, we can just see there, he's ahead in every resource. And apart from gold, B actually had way more gold. And so actually, B, he's not that far behind when it comes to resources.
Yeah, he's not that far behind. I do have to say though, again, right, a lot of the gold, again, just like last game, in the last series, B had more gold, but so much of that was spent on early knights that when they are taken out, that their value is just completely gone, right? And it's weird to say, but mass spears really working out well here.
Yeah, but have a look what we've got coming up next, as B is going to be playing as the Rus on his home map Highview up against Magic's Chinese. This is looking pretty good here for B.
Yeah, okay, in theory, right, we just said so. B, favorite and best civs. It is the French, it is the Rus. We just saw him lose on the French. Will we see him lose on the Rus?
I mean, he's on his home map as well, High View. This is the map that he practices Roos on a lot. Obviously, Roos has, or not Roos, sorry, High View has the increased wolves. So, you know, he's going to be able to get some good bounty here as well. We're going to have to see what sort of opening he looks to open us up with, as we've seen some variants with the Roos, especially from, like we saw in the last set, Wham. He looked to rush up that starting hunting cabin. So maybe we see the same out of B here.
Yeah, we'll have to see a little bit with Magic how he plays it as well, right? Because you are against the Bruce with those knights, sometimes it's also dependent on the map spawn, right? Because where does the Barbican go here? Do you defend your gold? We have to talk about this more when you get into the game because it's so map dependent. But I feel like against Ruse, Shugnus Bear is a very, very fine response. Ruse, of course, will most likely go 2 town centers, and then, you know, the Chinese,
Sometimes
they don't
even
mind
3.
going 2. Yeah, the Chinese, they don't mind going for 2, 3 town centers in Song Dynasty.
Yeah, true. We're going to have to see, though, because B is going to have to win this one to stay in this set. And then if B is able to win back this game, we'll be heading to Lipany, where B's got either Abbasid or Ottoman up against Magic's HRE or English.
It's too early to say, realistically speaking, but I'm seeing Abbasid HRE on Lipany.
I think so too. It's a
I don't
matchup
know,
we've been seeing a lot recently.
It's a really, really weird matchup. I talked with Sassy about this yesterday. Like, I'm that kind of person that needs to see every permutation of a matchup, if that makes sense, right? So I know exactly how, in theory, well, at least, you know, how HRE versus Abbasid is supposed to go when Abbasid go 2 town center, 3 town center. If Abbasid goes military wing, I have absolutely zero clue what is going on. So again, right, HRE Abbasid, it's probably one of my favorite matchups in the game. But that is not the one we're seeing. It is B going for the Ruse here, spawning in on the left-hand side on Lipany. And their opponent is going to be IamMagic as the Chinese. We are in game number 2 here in the Elite Classic. And Magic right now up 1-0.
B is going to be opening up here with the 4 villagers rushing up this hunting cabin. This is what we've been seeing out of all the pros recently. Definitely a nice build. Grabbing the 2 early scouts and then looking to go into wheelbarrow as well. And, you know, wheelbarrow is something you can reliably get on this map, as, you know, you're going to be having 3 scouts and you're also going to have plenty of bounty from all the extra wolves on this map. So shouldn't be too much of an issue for B to grab that wheelbarrow. I'm sure that will be coming through from him. But Magic, he's had to open up with a scout from the TC, which means he has no Imperial official.
Yeah, it is very odd, right? Because one of the reasons I personally stopped doing 2 scout opening is the fact that so many build orders actually just relies on the precise timing, I want to say, of not going 2 scouts, right? And when you go 2 scouts like this, again, IamMagic is kind of thrown off a lot on its build order, right? Because, you know, the Chinese especially is very tight with their build orders, and you need to get that Imperial official out as soon as possible. But he opts for a scout to deny as much bounty as possible.
Yeah, it means he's going to have to chop a little bit more wood here to be able to get up his mining camp. He's had to chop quite a bit, in fact. But not going to be too much of an issue for him. But this isn't something that we regularly see. Chinese is one of those civilizations that up against the Rus, we usually just see the 1 scout. So this might throw off B, because we see here B is going to be grabbing that wheelbarrow. But we already see he's got plenty of gold in the bank. I don't think it's going to be much of an issue for him to get that age up through.
Yeah, we'll need to see, right? Starting to see, right? The front of Magic's base is very bare and very open. There's no wood line to easily wall off, right? I don't know what happened to this spawn here on the wood, but look at how 3 of the connections.
I'm having a look at a high trade house god spot right here. That's going to be like 300 gold a minute.
Surely.
I think it has to be, right? Yeah. B is going to be edging up here with the Kremlin. Pretty decent spot for it. I feel like his gold and his stone has spawned very close to each other here. Also near the wood line, or a secondary wood line. So he's going to be feeling pretty happy about this spawn here, especially with this god tier spot for his high trade house. And we've even got a little bit of stealth forest in here. Plenty of stragglers as well that all contribute towards that gold income from that high trade house, which I'm sure he'll be going for. If he doesn't, he's a madman.
Yeah, I'll honestly be mad. But again, right, with the Kremlin position here, it's a really good position, right? It allows him to very safely take both gold and stone, so we probably see a second town center. We do have IamMagic here, of course, going up with Imperial Academy first. Again, we'll have to see where his Barbican decides to be dropped. If it decides to be dropped forward to protect his forward deer, it's still very hard to drop a good Barbican. Because if you look at the way the resources is spread out, you can't realistically protect 2 resources with 1 Barbican.
I gotta say, I feel bad for Magic here. His spawn is not the prettiest. I feel like his deer packs are really far away. And then B, he's just got a god tier spawn over here. High trade house over here. And have a look at this. We've got a deer pack and a boar sitting right next to each other, where I'm sure B will be looking to put down his second TC.
Yeah, I don't know. I would honestly complain the game is rigged at this point.
Yeah, it seems that way, right? B, he's going to be sending out his militia now. Try to delay maybe a Barbican coming down from Magic. Maybe just try and push him off the gold, or just, you know, cause as much idle time as you possibly can here with these 2 militia, as B is going to be gathering up that stone behind this for that second TC. Survival techniques also coming in for him. He's getting ready for this position.
Yeah, he's getting ready for it. It's a super nice and sweet spot there, just immaculate. I don't know what more to say. We do have a couple of Kremlins coming in here. We'll be taking quite quick work off by the Chinese town center. Has that hand cannons, has to garrison a couple of villagers though. And I don't know, IamMagic feels, it's rough to say, but his build here and his tempo feels a little bit slow.
Yeah, I think it comes down to having that second scout at the beginning. I don't know if you can quickly have a check to see where B's bounty is currently sitting, and have a look at this. What is going on here? B gonna be pulling forward 6 villagers here with 2 militia to defend this wooden fortress. What is going on here? I think Magic has no food, because all of the dead sheep is underneath this mill. His berries are here. His deer pack is going to be behind this wooden fortress. His only other food source is all the way down to the south here, or all the way to the east on this berry patch.
Yeah, so B is now getting the ultimate value. He's sucking up 2
he even gets a villager
right now. Oh, no, don't tell me. I mean, Shiv's out. Will get the militia though, so, but still gets a villager for it, right? And now, where does Magic? He needs to. Does he move his town center all the way to the south side corner? Like, I feel like that's the best possible position you can put down the town center right now. Or if he, you know, just to secure up some form of wood or some sort of food, I mean. You don't want to make a farm transition this early.
Is B gonna stick down his town center on this deer pack? Oh, it would be so funny if he did. I doubt he will, but he's not moving out with any villagers quite yet. You will see he has enough resources. There we go. He's going to be moving forward. He's just going to be dropping it in the base here. So not going for this nice position with the boar and the deer pack. I guess he already has a lot of food available to him over here. We see arrows that's also going to be coming through on this wooden fortress. We see the nice range coming through.
Yeah,
and covering all of this.
Look at the wood, or sorry, the food again. That the Magic has. It's nothing. Can you click on that town center? I just want to see how many builds are in queue.
It's got 2.
It's 2. Okay, so we won't idle the town center for that long, but
he's got 1 sheep. He's got 1 sheep, and now he's having to add in farms around the TCs. So not even going to be able to put down any granaries. This is looking really rough for Magic. He has down his second TC. but he's not on Song Dynasty, so at the moment, he's matching what B has. And B at the moment, he has access to so many better food sources. He's got access to the deer. He can always move back for his back deer. And then, you know, the boar as well, he could look towards.
It's very hard to condense this down to one thing, but I picked on it earlier, but the tempo for Magic feels slow, and it's just a decision to go 2 scouts instead of opening with an Imperial Official. Potentially what you could have done as a change-up is go Imperial Official and then scout, but I don't know. I haven't seen this play coming out here. And B is just so proactive. He's going to go castle now. Look at his food income as well, right? I don't think he's dropped any production. The only thing he's been pumping out consistently is militia to harass and delay IamMagic as much as possible.
IamMagic has managed to find some food sources behind the base here, but he knows about it, and I'm sure he's going to be on the way soon. We see 4 more militia do get called. They're going to be heading their way over there. And like you said, I do think it all came down to the second scout. You know, you're missing out on a villager and a bit. You're paying an extra 20 food compared to a villager for it. And it just throws you off so much. You don't have through your Imperial Official as fast. You know, you're missing out on a little bit of food. You're going to have to chop more wood at the early stages of the game. You know, this all adds up. And now Magic, you know, he doesn't have down his Barbican. Maybe if he went for the 1 scout instead, he would have a forward Barbican on the steer pack, and then, you know, Wooden Fortress doesn't get up, and you'd have access to all of your food. But as a result of this, B is now going to be pushing Magic off all of the food sources, including the one at the back of the base here.
It's so rough. Look at the hate train. B, come on, man.
Oh, maybe he can't fit it in. I don't know. Is there a way we can actually see? I don't think we can see the tiles.
So, I mean, still though, I mean, get your predictions in chat. I'm gonna guess at, for reference, he has about 300, so he's currently sitting on tier 2 bounding. So,
Magic going for a third TC.
190?
Oh, okay. I feel like at this point, B can just pump out Men-at-Arms. He's going to be going into an archery range and stable, so Knights definitely works as well, but Magic going very greedy here when he doesn't have a lot of food available to him. 3 TCs is a lot.
And again, remember, this is not Song Dynasty.
Yeah, it's not even like he has a Barbican here to defend this position. But anyway, back to the high trade house. What are we thinking? I'm thinking 260.
I'm sticking with my 190. Just because I'm a pessimist. Oh.
You're close. You're close. That's less than I thought it would be, to be honest.
I'm getting too cocky. I feel like I'm getting too good at this. But again, right, you know, B, he is sucking up the entire map, right? He's not taking any boars just yet, right? We talked about that position that he could. But look at all the production Magic is dropping right now. Holy.
That is a lot of production. We see mainly archery ranges, 3 archery ranges, 2 barracks coming down. He understands he needs to get some units out here, and we see Barbican is going to get dropped here on the berry patch. Oh, that always feels bad. You know, Barbican on a half-eaten berry patch. You've only got 4 berries here, and half of them are even eaten. So, and it's not defending any of the main base here. And B, you know, he's starting to build up a mass now. We see archers as well as knights on the way, and he's looking to pick up relics behind this.
I want to say the Barbican at least protects 2 gold veins. Best case scenario, but again, right, Knights, they will have such a fun and easy time just, you know, just running around the base here. B, you know, again, right, going with the Knights, going with Archers, a solid comp that we all know and love. Magic now scrambling. He doesn't have the food income, he doesn't have the wood income. He partially has a little bit of gold income, but he just does not have enough resources to try to keep up with B here.
Yeah, and we can see B. He's, oh, this feels so bad. We've got another wooden fortress coming down for him.
Did he? I think still there's more deer.
Oh,
the forward wood.
Yeah,
okay, there's
plenty of deer there. We see he's actually moved out for the boar as well. He's moved out for so many of the resources on the map, and he's now going to be looking to deny away this wood. Does Magic know about it? He doesn't even know about it. And archers are going to be coming through on the right-hand side as well.
This, oh my gosh, Magic. This feels so rough. I mean, he has a market, and now he'll move around and try to pick up another one. And the granary has been placed, so he can't realistically move here. There's a couple of Shugenus are in place to try to defend it, but does B have textiles just yet? I mean, it shivs out.
He does. Magic doesn't have textiles. B does. Magic is going to be able to push this one back with just some Chukanu. But Magic's investing so much into military here in Age 2. We see he's getting out some spears, getting out some Chukanu. But he's just spending so many resources here on this farm transition, which B is not having to do right now. We can see his army value significantly higher than Magic's. And he's still only 4 villages behind.
I mean, that is some ballsy forward production, I have to say.
He can do it though, right? We got sprung in placement.
Oh, without a problem.
Yeah, like...
again, right, it feels like Magic at this point in the game is stuck in perpetual feudal. I don't think he has a choice if he wants to go up or not. He needs to keep on producing units to defend himself, and at that point, once he's done defending himself, he could possibly even be going Imperial, have a couple of rams ramming him just down, and this granary placement, it does not feel that good.
It really doesn't. Luckily, Magic does have an outpost here. We can see this is B's vision right now. He just has vision over everything Magic is doing. I feel like the third TC was a little bit greedy here out of him. See, Magic's trying to push B out of this position, but, you know, B's got his upgrades in. He's got veterancy archers, veterancy knights. Another wooden fortress going to be coming down here. Magic can't commit underneath this position with the springwood emplacement through. B is now going to be adding in the siege workshop, and I think, you know, one mangonel shuts down everything here from Magic.
Yeah, again, right, I have to say, right, look at the second wood line, or the first wood line, I guess, that Magic. He had to move over to the wood line, which soon will be done. This wood line is now completely under control of B, and if you look on the left-hand side, where, you know, the next third wood line,
it's so far.
Good luck, Magic, getting this one.
Exactly, but Magic, he's looking to push back B over here. He's got a decent number of spears, but it's not going to be enough underneath 2 wooden fortresses here. One with a springwood emplacement and veterancy archers here as well. Magic just losing out on so much army.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit before the game at the early start as well. Shugnu is an okay response into Ruse, into Knights, but you need a substantial amount of them. And 4-5 Shugnus is not enough, and you know the game is going bad when the Chinese is making archer range or archers.
Archers, yeah, that's rough. We see Magic's going to be going into a ram, but it's going to be so tough to push this position as B. He's getting out his first mangonel, double springwood emplacements through, as well as arrow slits as well. So he's got a really good position here. Boyar's Fortitude also coming through for B. We see there these knights. They've got plenty of HP, and actually behind this, B's picked up every single relic on the map, and he's even trying to pick up the sacred site that is to the north or to the right-hand side of Magic's base.
Yeah, I want to see. Does he have any villagers on gold at all right now? Can you quickly check that out?
He's got a few. He's got a few.
A couple. But still, right? It's so much passive golding to him, right? He hasn't dropped any hunting cabins down, but he still has 5 relics. 3 sacred sites, or 2 sacred sites, pardon, that one was taken down. But Mangonel now on the front lines, more coming out, could potentially move into a couple of trebuchets, although you don't even need it.
Militia. 60 militia has been called here for B. He's gonna be going for the dive. He's got the Mangonel here as well to push back this mass from Magic. Such a huge number. B's also got 20 archers behind this, and we can see he's grabbing all of his blacksmith upgrades. He has his tier 2 range defense, which means this Barbican and this town center not going to be doing as much damage as he probably would have hoped for them to be doing.
Yeah, moving in as well, right? Mangonel's just being a huge threat. There's no point just trying to move out. The Shugunu number slowly but surely building here for Magic, but the fact that the Mangonels exist is enough threat for him to force to try to go elsewhere. Where is Magic
going?
Is
Magic doing? He's trying to find some villager kills I'd expect. Like, he's going to be able to find some, it seems, but B, he's already reacting to it. His army is just rampaging through the base of Magic right now. Magic losing so many villas. We see 25 villager kills here for B. So much idle time. 42 villagers sitting in town centers at the moment. It does look like Magic is able to put some good pressure on here with the Chukanu numbers. But the question is it going to be enough?
It's I want to say it's enough, right? Magic, he is on 3 TC Song, but his farm layout, his granaries, all of which are idle. Magic will be throwing a Hail Mary now, throwing down a couple of battering rams, seeing if he can get something here now.
He's going for the base trade.
Good news. Doing good. Has pulled B away from his own base though, which does alleviate a lot of pressure, allows him to potentially get those granaries, get those farms going again. And remember, Magic is on 3 TC Song. Villager numbers should be looking up for him, but there's 27 villager kills for B.
Yeah, that's a huge number right there. And B, he's returned back with his army. We see he has been pushed off the gold. He's lost a couple vills. We see he's lost 5. But the Mangonels, triple Mangonel, taking some huge shots there onto the Chukanu. Magic just losing out on his whole army. B's brought back the reinforcements. And we see he's still in the base as well of Magic, dealing damage. And with that, GG gets called. B going to be taking game number 2 here in this best of 3. Which means we now go to the decider match.
Decider map that will be Lipany again, right? Do you see that? B trading back now, taking it to game number 3, but this just spiraled out of control for Magic. He had a game plan, he had an idea of what he wanted to do, but B knew exactly what his weakness was based on the map spawn, and he was just able to take the deer, cut off Magic's food resource, and it just kind of just went downhill from there.
Yeah, it was really the farms that hurt Magic. He had to invest so much into farms after he just invested into 3 town centers. It's rough. You can't make army after that when you're having to invest so much into farms and your opponent's already in the castle age and they're just extracting resources over the whole map. It's just really, really difficult.
Yeah, and the high trade house, great value there. B again playing the map just perfectly, just nothing to say more about that, right? Magic maybe a little bit greedy. But again, that wooden fortress just really made sure that B was the one who win that game.
Exactly, but we've got the final match in this set. It's going to be B playing as the Abbasid here and Magic playing as the Holy Roman Empire, just like you called just before we headed into the game 2 here. Abbasid versus Holy Roman Empire.
I want to say I predicted the entire draft, but I was like a little bit iffy about the high view game, what Magic was going to pick there, but still, right? It's Abbasid versus HRE. It's a matchup I'm quite fond of. It can go multiple different ways. I want to say it's basically an even because it comes down to just so much execution. Again, right, as a wise man said, if HRE can do HRE things, they're very happy. But the same can be said for Abbasid. If they can boom up, get 3 town centers, get my goodness, fresh foodstuffs, they're happy too.
Yeah, exactly. Something else I love about this matchup is that we see the Abbasid dynasty, they can go for multiple different wings. We've seen them go eco wing. We've seen them go military wing. I want to see them go trade wing, but I doubt that's going to happen. I mean, we've even seen like the culture wing sometimes. Anything can happen in this matchup here. But we've seen the military wing quite a bit. I think that's the one I've seen the most here. And usually it's to try and get a little bit of aggression onto the Holy Roman Empire, try and deny them away from that second TC. Just trying to lay them for as long as possible so you can get up a second TC of your own.
Yeah, and with the military wing, right, I have a teammate, he loves Abbasid military wing. It just gives so much pressure, right? It's like, oh, but it's only 2 spears, it's only 2 archers, but the damage it is able to do so early on, right? It really throws a wrench into HRE plans because they want to sit back, make no military before they basically hit castle, but a military wing just forces the HRE into do something they don't want to.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen lots of archers being made from the Holy Roman Empire, which is something they don't really want to do, which is something that the military wing can force them into. It's their best option. It's their best choice archers to try and stop that little raiding party of the 2 spears and 2 archers from the Abbasid. But we'll have to see what B looks to go for. You know, he's always got some crazy stuff up his sleeve, so maybe we see some crazy wing out of him. We'll have to wait and see. Magic, on the other hand, you know, maybe we see him go for a Burgrave play, possibly. You know, anything is possible in this matchup.
Yeah, the only thing that really like throws the burger kind of just like out the window is the fact that camel archers. But we'll have to see
That is true.
What they decide to do.
Welcome to the third and final match in this best of 3 between Magic and B. Magic going to be spawning in here on the left-hand side of the map, playing as the Holy Roman Empire. We're on the map High View. We're not. This is not High View, sorry. This is Lipany.
Well, somewhat similar. A lot of wood, a lot of berries, a lot of stuff going on. It's quite an open map too, but their opponent, it is going to be B, playing as the Abbasid Dynasty.
Is B gonna be... Have a look at this. B gonna be looking to make use of the berries. This is something that I was discussing a lot yesterday on the B stream. And it was the fact that we don't often see Abbasid players look to make use of the early berries anymore. Because, you know, they have to chop a little bit of extra wood to get down their lumber camp. You know, there's not a whole lot of incentives to drop down this mill, apart from the fact it's, you know, it's extra food, right? So usually we see players just look to grab their food from the sheep, but B playing it different here. And he's going to be making use of the early berries.
Going to be making use of it, and he's going to be able to see where the build kind of goes. I'm not too well versed in Abbasid Dynasty builds, but I do feel like, you know, moving out 3-4 villagers onto the gold, it's going to be enough to get you fresh foodstuffs. It's going to be enough to get you the wheelbarrow. It's going to be enough to get you fertile crescents. But what is Magic doing behind this? Because that was a lot of villagers in gold.
Yeah, that is a lot on gold. He's going to be floating a little bit, it seems. He's only got the 6 here on the food. Hasn't moved out anywhere else for the food, so he's going to be... He's only got the 1 villager in the queue as well, so yeah, it's going to be floating a little bit of gold. Maybe he looks to grab wheelbarrow, possibly. He's going to need to chop for that.
It's... Yeah, again, right, it's the best case scenario, I feel like. The Chapel could be dropped on the left-hand side there to get the wood line and to get the gold. We'll have to see where it decides to drop it. Could drop it further back in the base as a more safe option, which is what he will go do. And B here going with the Eco Wing, so that screams to me a couple of town centers at least.
Yeah, for sure. I think we'll be seeing them, I mean, maybe on the deer packs. They're quite far forward though, especially this one. This one's extremely exposed. He's positioned next to a relic though. But yeah, that is an exposed town center. This one not so bad, as you do have this little cliff protecting you somewhat, as well as these wood lines that you can easily wall up. But yeah, he's going to be going for the eco wing there. We'll have to see where he puts down his TCs. Magic on the other side. He's really rushing up this Archon Chapel. Have a look at that. 11 villagers on this landmark. He wants to get this up fast. It looks like he's got them rallied over to wood. So I would assume this is going to be for a second town center.
Should be. I mean, the thing is as well, it was a shout out to Neriev, by the way. He doesn't play that much anymore, but he still sometimes lurk around in chat, so hopefully he's here. But he, you know, said to me, especially on water with HRE, the Prelate can only boost 8 villagers when he's outside of the Aachen Chapel. So you might as well just throw everything at the Aachen Chapel, have 8 villagers work, and then when the Aachen Chapel is done, you can now just rebalance your economy. But it's not a second town center for Magic.
It might be. I think he's looking to just grab the wood first, then he might look to move out. As we say, oh, he's going to be dropping down a barracks first, though. Maybe you're right. Maybe he's not looking to go for a second TC. This is a very early barracks coming down from him. I would expect him to be getting some men-at-arms out, trying to deny away possibly the second town center from B, you know, trying to condense B down into his own base. As, you know, as we talked about this earlier, these deer packs are pretty far forward.
They are really far exposed, right? And we didn't say much about Lipni as a map itself, right? It's pretty much just dry Arabia with some extra walls, but it's the fact that there's also 5 berry patches per player, I think. Oh, sorry, 5 berry patches, pardon, instead of the normal 3. So it's a lot of berries. There's a lot of resources that Abbasid and Delhi specifically can actually utilize, which is often why you see those civs on this map. But there we go. That is a late second town center by IamMagic.
I like it though, because we can see here Magic's going to be heading out with the first early man-at-arm B. He has no army out to defend against this. We're going to have to see if he can get up this town center. We see he's got quite a few out here. 8 villagers. And we can see the men-at-arms, they're relatively slow, so I think B should be able to get this one up before the men-at-arm does arrive. And Magic being super sneaky here, just pushing away the Diz. It's being as annoying as possible. We see it's going to be hard for B to eat those ones without traveling a long distance. But Magic, he arrives here with the first early men-at-arm. Just going to be running away, though. He understands, you know, you're going to be losing that men-at-arm if you dive underneath this TC. And now B.
Yeah. He doesn't have any, like, again, right, he doesn't have any ranged armor on that man-at-arms. B now, we can see the building looks a little bit random, but he wants to get that Golden Age 1, right? Now is on 2 town center. 1 building away, when those 2 houses are finished, he will be getting Golden Age. And look at where the second town center for Magic is placed, in fact.
That is quite forward. He gets the deer packs, that's going to be nice for him. But interestingly, out of B here, he's not going for a 3rd TC, which is very surprising. Usually when we see these eco builds, economic wing builds, we usually see the 3rd TC.
Yeah, we do usually see it, right? And it's just simply because of fresh foodstuffs, fertile crescents, just it kind of just snowballs out of hand there. It's going to be interesting to see where Agery and Abbasid goes from here, right? Because both of these now usually can move into, you know, castle. IamMagic now, he had a lot of wood floating around for a little bit. I'm wondering if he dropped a couple of farms around at Achenchapel already?
Doesn't look like it. He's going into an archery range. So he's looking to add in some archers now. Everyone's just going for archers. Crazy stuff here from the Holy Roman Empire. Looks like the man-at-arm is trying to get in here. Not finding too much value, though. I think this is smart out of B. Not over-investing, not being overly greedy when it comes to TCs. Because you got to remember, everything economic is discounted with Fertile Crescent. It's not just your TC, it's your houses, it's your drop-off buildings. So, I think 2 TCs is kind of smart here out of B. Not something that we see every day. It's usually 3 TCs. Because you're trying to find as much value from that age up as possible. But he understands he can't be too greedy.
I think it comes down, I mean, I'm thinking a little bit on the fly here, but I think it comes down to the fact that you just need to have something prepared for the HRE. They want to do something to shut you down. You can always go with that 3rd town center later. The HRE don't really want to do that. So, you know, it just allows B to produce a couple of Camel Archers that is now moving here. We'll see it do a lot of damage on that man-at-arms, just simply because it has such a high base damage.
Yeah, Magic has no Iron Under Mesh in either, so yeah, this man-at-arms is going to get taken out very quickly there. And B's actually looking to just add in a couple more behind this. Very expensive units, so you do need to be careful with this, because as we see Magic, his economy is starting to look towards a bit of a castle age. So for B here, you don't want to over-invest in Camel Archers. We see he's already got the 2 out. 3rd one, it looks like he's going to be committing to it here. Hasn't made... Well, he's only made the 1 horseman out of the stable.
So, you know, Magic is going to be going up with, I'm assuming the Regnates. The reason I'm saying that is he doesn't want to add more man-at-arms into Camel Archers. He'd rather go into either Knights or, you know, Landsknechte. Man-at-arms just feels bad and kind of falls flat into mass Camel Archers. It's something B can quite easily respond with. And he's going to go with a burger.
He's going Burgrave. Have a look at that. I mean, it somewhat makes sense because he's just dropped down an archery range, so he's looking to go into archers still as well. Because we see another archery range gets dropped down, so he's going to be going into archers plus men-at-arms here.
It is the correct combination to, you know, counter the camel archers. It's weird everybody thinks the camel archers of a cavalry unit, but it is weak against archers. It's their natural enemy. Get shot down. You know, horses naturally resistant to arrows. I think I don't go outside that much. But the burger is going to go up. The issue for me now, does Magic have the economy behind it to sustain it? The answer is no, but military wing coming through now.
Yeah, military wing coming through here for B. I like this move a lot. You're going to be able to grab composite bows, you know, better reload speeds here on your camel archers, on your archers, as well as a boot camp, which B at the moment doesn't have any infantry, so boot camp isn't going to be affecting anything there. But, you know, composite bow is still going to be a great upgrade. Boot camp in the later stages of the game going to be great as well. And you also get the 2 camel riders, which camel riders, they do some decent damage up against men-at-arms.
Yeah, I have to say though again, right, B here playing it quite well, right? Military wing, if you could quickly hover over it, depends on which age you actually go up to. In this case, he will be going up to Castle Age, will actually be giving him 2 camel riders, which, in fairness, actually does really well against men-at-arms too.
Yeah, and that's it, right? We also see here, unfortunately for B, diving underneath that TC just a little bit too far, loses out on a horseman and his scout, so it's going to have to retreat back to the base. But you see here, Magic really looking to pump out these men-at-arms. Hasn't got the, hasn't queued up the upgrade yet, though. Oh, no, there it is. He's grabbing it from the barracks, interestingly.
I think it's just to, you know, keep on pumping men-at-arms. I mean, the timing there is pretty much the same, right? He arrives and then the man-at-arm upgrade is complete. So it's good timing here. We do see the man-at-arms flood is starting already 12 man-at-arms, but the issue is 5 camel archers, and they will soon be joined by a couple of camel riders, perhaps some crossbows as well.
Yeah, and we see Magic still yet to grab any blacksmith upgrades. Usually we see players look to really prioritize Iron Undermesh, especially in this matchup, because you know you're going to be facing up against camel archers.
Yeah.
See here, camel riders. You can see they do some decent damage up against men-at-arms, or at least they don't take much damage from a men-at-arm. So, you know, they're going to be able to do some good tanking right there. But Magic's numbers really starting to grow now. We see he's up to 15 men-at-arms, 7 archers on the field as well to deal with these camel archers.
Yeah, the issue for me, right, he did get the upgrade, I never remember what it's called, the one that makes HOE units go faster, infantry faster.
Marching
but
drills.
He now gets... Marching drills, thank you. He now gets heavy maces through, but he still doesn't have any ranged armor, so he's still taking full damage from town centers that he so badly needs to idle. He's also going to be taking full damage from crossbows. Yes, it doesn't matter that much. But luckily, heavy maces is through, so the knight now, or the lancers coming out from B, will be taken quickly care of. The issue for me is still taking full damage from town centers.
Yeah, we can just see here the town center just doing so much damage. I mean, usually when we see these Burgrave plays, we would have tier 2 ranged defense coming in at this point. And there we see Magic finally going to be queuing up Iron Undermesh, but it feels a little bit late. You know, B, he's been in Castle Age for quite a while at this point. He's got out quite a few of the, you know, the correct units that he needs here. He's got out plenty of crossbows, plenty of knights, still has a few camel archers in there as well. So he's looking in a great position still.
Still looking very solid, right? There's still very much room for B to actually come back in this game. I wouldn't even say he needs to come back. He just needs to play his way out of this, as the game is pretty much in equal state, right? And we do have farms being dropped for B now. He needs to do that, but it's also cheaper, right? Because of Fertile Crescent.
Yeah, we see that only 56 wood. And B at the moment, he's got a massive army of lancers, which men-at-arms, you know, they do have through their heavy maces upgrades, so they do some decent damage here to the lancers. But in a mass like this, B is more than happy to take that fight with crossbows on the backline, camel archers in here as well, and Magic finally going to be grabbing that Iron Undermesh.
Yeah, and if we could quickly have a look at the base of Magic here, we see he's moving out. He's got 2 relics there, camping up a couple of berry bushes. He's moving out onto wood. Still no farm transitions coming through, and all of this walking distance, right? He's moving all the way across of the map. There's no eco upgrades, no wheelbarrow, no nothing. But at least these towers could be doing a lot of damage here now. If
that
they
feels
got
bad
upgraded.
for B. It's a curious position for farms. I guess you want to save yourself on the walking distance, but yeah, if you do get spotted out, then it feels bad, right? Because this is a lot of wood. Sure, it is discounted because of Fertile Crescent. But it's still a lot of wood right there that you're missing out on. But it looks like B's just going to be going right back to it. He doesn't care.
I almost want to say that he forgot he was Abbasid and is trying to take the boar.
Yes, it looks like
it,
it,
he
right?
remembered, but it's not the case, luckily.
Wait, why is he out here? Was there a berry patch, maybe?
I'm pretty sure there was a berry bush out there. But still, right? It's again, right? It's not a bad position for either of these players. It's still a super equal game, equal in villager numbers. We talked about a potential third town center, hasn't been added, hasn't been attempted, but Magic now is sitting on 4 potential relics. No Regnit's Cathedral, but he's still very happy with them.
Yeah, it's certainly no Regnant's Cathedral, but it's still a decent number. And we see they're actually going to be an outpost here as well, so they're going to be able to buff those up. No upgrades are through on those outposts, though, so no Springald emplacement. So maybe this is a little bit risky here from Magic. You know, B, I'm sure, is very tempted to come in here and try and nab these. Doesn't have down a mosque quite yet, though. And there's still one relic on the map that he can grab, and that's this one over here.
Yeah, so quick updates. No, there was not a berry patch or anything. I genuinely think he forgot he was out.
Really?
So I can
It's
see
so
through
random.
the replay, but my best bet is it's just he just moved out there for no reason at all.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake coming through on the ball.
I mean, it's still a very sneaky position, right? He is able to protect up his wood income or his food, a little bit of food, but he's still able to, you know, defend the sacred site, deter any potential target that could be coming through.
Magic now looking to go into some horsemen. Finally going to be grabbing that Wedged Rivets upgrade. Something that he really could have done with a little bit earlier on in the game, but B looks like he's going to be moving to the left-hand side of the map. Not a lot of defense here from Magic. He's got 2 outposts down, but no emplacements, which means these are not going to be helping out whatsoever. If these were in place, then it may be a different story, but B looks like he's going to be charging in so much idle time here for Magic. Most of his economy is here. In fact, that's over half of the economy right there that is idle.
Yeah, Wheelbarrow now slowly coming through as well, so at least that could, you know, help some of these villagers escape, but still taking a lot of damage. Up to 5 villager kills now. That will just keep on growing. And look at the Magic now. He's doing a good job on this raid on the boar farm.
Yeah, the boar farm. That feels bad there for B. He's going to be losing out on all of these villagers. And this is why we don't typically see such weirdly positioned farms. But B going to be retreating back now. He's done the damage he's needed to have done. You know, he's caused so much idle time there on Magic. We see his food count running really low for the time being. But he's making the farm transition now.
Okay, so I'm just feeding through the replay here to see what actually happened. So B was actually trying to go for the berry patch. That was he was trying to go, but then he just moved on and decided to do a farm transition instead. So, but that doesn't matter. As what is happening on our screens is a beautiful raid from B here, taking out a lot of farm.
Yeah, he is fighting underneath the TC though. Certainly, yeah, it feels a little bit rough. Losing out on very high costing units, as now we see Magic is quite a bit ahead in that army value. Magic is now going to be able to finally finish up his farm transition here. He's currently on zero food. A little bit idle on the TCs, but shouldn't be too much of a big deal for him. But he's still ahead when it comes to that villager count by 13 for the time being.
Yeah, and I want to say, right, Burger Palace at this point in the game doesn't feel that good. Like, the initial oomph that the Burger Palace kind of just provided just did not go anywhere, as B did a really good job of defending. And we do see these fights now. Crossbow numbers for B has started to grow, has started to become up to the point where one-shotting man-at-arms is not out of the question anymore. So now Magic needs to scramble for another solution to the problem, see if he can find something. Could he go Imperial? Could he go into potentially Mangonels?
It's going to be Spears and Horsemen for him. It's definitely a good choice here, but B, he still has such a huge army, and when you're losing Horsemen like this, You need to build this up into a big mass. You need a big mass of horsemen to try and deal with this here. And B, he's just going to be looking to siege down the second TC now. Emergency repairs are available to Magic, but nothing in this TC to even give off any damage. So B, he's more than happy to sit here, siege this one down. Siege engineering, I think, well, he's playing as the opposite, right? So he gets that for free. So he can drop down a ram if he so wishes to. But now going to be taking an engagement here. Plenty of spears out for Magic. He should be able to push this one back pretty easily. Emergency repairs also going to be coming in.
Emergency repairs has been used. Going to be jumping in a little bit into the town center using it. But the the economy numbers right now is looking heavily in favor of B. And you got to remember as well, B is the Abbasid dynasty, so he spent less food on all of the villagers, and he's also killed a couple of villagers here, which is super strong. And look at his stone number right now. He is going for a keep drop somewhere on the map.
That is true. You got to remember, Magic does also have 4 relics in the bank, as well as a sacred site. So that's a lot of gold income for him. So, you know, he's certainly not too far behind when it comes to the economy. B, you know, he's still making his way around this map. Still 2 relics set in this, in these outposts, which finally are going to be grabbing their fortifications. You do not want to be losing those.
Absolutely not. I mean, luckily, Age of Empires 4, no religious victory, I guess, in terms of relics. You know, there's still the sacred site. Look at this. I mean, Magic is trying to get out something, but the issue is he's raiding with horsemen, so they're not doing that much damage compared to the knights, and he's taking a decent fight here now.
Yeah.
Oh, B doesn't even realize this. He's busy.
This is terrible for B. B's losing out on so many crossbow here. Quite expensive units. He's not even killing many units here. He's up against spears and horsemen. And he lost out on all of the workers over here on that berry patch. And now Magic. He's looking in a really, really good position.
Yeah, that is like, I think it's 9 villagers dead for the time being that was out on that berry patch.
See, Magic.
Too busy migrating out elsewhere. And look at Magic's spear numbers now. Yikes.
Yeah, Magic's up to 43. That is a huge number. We see he's killed 21 villagers this game as well. Magic just going to be pushing away B here. Huge, huge spearman numbers. He's still going into horsemen behind this as well. So horsemen and spears is going to be the way for Magic. There's through a decent number of blacksmith upgrades as well. Farm economy looking really stable here for him. You know, he's just going to be able to pump out these spears, pump out the horsemen.
Yeah, but on the other hand, right, B, he's the Abbasid dynasty. He has phalanxes. He has already researched that earlier. So, you know, his spears in fights like this, where it's like spear versus spear and addition to some horsemen, he will be taking much better trades. Of course, the numbers is not there for him just yet, but it could potentially go that.
B now looks to try and take these outposts, or he's trying to take the relics away from Magic here. He will need to escort this with some army. You see here the ram is going to get burnt down. But B still sitting over on the left-hand side of the map. His keep did come up on this large gold vein. So you're going to be securing this one up. Magic, take a look at his gold control at the moment. Seems like he's struggling a little bit with 0 villagers on gold, but he's still got a decent number of gold coming through from the relics and the sacred site.
It's not looking too bad, right? 420 gold, very nice. A minute. The issue is as well, right? 1 large gold vein has been secured. On the left-hand side, there is a pretty good position there that he could potentially keep up with 2 gold veins, large gold veins, as well as the sacred site. But look at the fight right now. I have 0 idea who is actually winning this. It's just their spears stabbing each other. There's a couple
so
of
many
crossbows.
spears.
I have no idea what's going on, but
Yeah,
I think Phalanx is going to come out on top.
Yeah, it's the phalanx upgrade, right? It's just such a strong upgrade. You know, you can fight spears behind spears and you can just take the better fights. And B looks like he's now into the eco once again. It seems like his lancers are going to get cleaned up, though. So going to be losing a bit of army value there. But still, very strong numbers here of spearmen onto the economy. But at the same time, Magic over on the right-hand side.
So, one thing that is a little bit peculiar to me is, yes, there is a lot of spears out on the field for both players, but AnMagicalCow could quickly turn that tide very, very quickly with 1 deadly shot. Yes, it's not as effective, but at the same time, B, right, he has a lot of crossbows, so that gives also Magic incentive to go into Magnals.
B, he's dropping down 2 more rams. He's going to be... Oh, no. Okay, he's back to it. He's just looking to hold on this left-hand position, or the northern position here. While he's trying to get up some rams, he really wants to take away these relics from Magic. It makes so much sense, right? You know, taking away these 2 relics can be game-changing. You know, they're not Regnant's relics, but they're still...
They're still HRE relics, right? It's,
yeah.
Again, right, it's not just 80 gold a minute that you're taking away. You're taking away basically invaluable stats when it comes to the boosted stats of both keeps and towers. But now a fight is once again breaking out. We see, you know, B, they're almost looking a little bit sandwiched. Has to be careful. Army numbers is on his side, but I want to say that B has the better army simply because of counter system.
Yeah, because his army value is still significantly... I wouldn't say significantly, but it's quite a bit higher than Magic's for the time being. And he's got a lot of crossbows out here. Look at the numbers. He's up to 32 crossbows, 32 spears. And his spears are going to trade better up against Magic spears. But something that could change the fights for Magic is these guys right here, Lance Connects. You know, B really has to focus those guys down to make sure that they don't slice and dice away B's spears and crossbow.
Yeah, it could be certainly interesting, right? We did see it was just like quickly highlighted there as the Launch Connector was trying to run in. He gets one shot, but that is not the point, right? They need a little bit of a front line that man-at-arms and spears could potentially be, but if they get off 1 slice, 2 slice, those crossbow numbers could very, very quickly dwindle.
Have a look at what's going on.
Wait, what the hell are you doing, Magic?
B's going to be dropping an in-base keep here. Magic's actually got a huge force over here. He's dropping down 3 rams. Horseman going to be idling a ton of villagers out here, but B, he's back here with his spears, going to be able to push back those horsemen. And it looks like these rams will get up, but not that many spears left for Magic.
It's not that much spears, right? And it does alleviate some pressure away from Magic base, and hopefully these rams, I mean, they're going to take down a couple of farms. It's not going to be putting a lot of pressure. Oh no, oh, that's a relic on the ground.
That is a relic on the ground. It's going to be a second relic on the ground in a minute as well if Magic isn't careful. We see the army for Magic cleaned up in the base of B, and that means the spearmen are going to be able to return back here and help out this force of crossbow. B needs to be careful not to lose. There's quite a number of horsemen over here. We see 11. They're not going to be jumping on top of the crossbow here, as B can retreat back to the keep. No upgrades through on this building though. No boiling oil, so we'll need to be careful.
No boiling oil. No military or medical centers, I think it's called.
I think you need culture wing for that one. Yeah, culture wing.
Yeah, it's culture. Right, yeah. So, you know, those rams that, you know, Magic somewhat threw away in the base of B, it did do some damage, but it would have been better if it was against, you know, French, HRE, something like that, which had full cost farms, because you just threw them away, took away some farms, alleviated a little bit of pressure away from your pocket ecos, but now you need to find something to still defend. The relic that was on the ground has been picked up, but Magic right now, he is in a very huge pickle right now.
Have we only got 4 relics on the map? I've only seen 4 this game. I'm not sure where the 5th one's at the moment.
The 5th one is on the right-hand side, like all the way to the east almost. It's like partially in the...
Oh, yeah, there it is. I'm surprised B hasn't picked this up, because he's got down a mosque.
Yeah, it's kind of just chilling, right? B.
We got a keep race.
It's a Mexican, or I don't know what standoff it is, but it is a standoff. B now going to be going up with that keep. It could potentially look to get it up though, but Magic is going to be the one who gets it up first.
Magic.
No upgrades.
Look at the amount of horsemen. Look at the bodies.
To get in here. Oh my god, that is a battlefield and a half.
And we see there.
Magic.
Look at B's army value. He's up by 3 times compared to Magic. Luckily for Magic, he does get up this keep. He's going to be able to deny away this keep from B. B still has 6 villagers in here. I don't think this keep goes up if Magic targets down the villagers. B.
Does it matter? I mean,
think
like,
he gets it.
Magic has thrown away his entire army. I
He
feel
even
like
gets
B could just cancel this. He's just gonna take this up, but now B is able to just steamroll. The wood line for Magic now is taken. He has to move all the way over to the left-hand side of his base, but look again at the army value. You pointed it out, double still, and
It's
now
almost
it's
triple.
just gonna be slowly, but slowly triple, or just dwindle past anything recognizable. B now commanding, taking over the base of Magic right now. Keep is going to be helping out just a little bit for B. It's not going to be doing anything for Magic. It's a thrown away keep, only to secure up a little bit of wood, but that is gone now.
And now B going to be heading towards the farms, and when the farms are under pressure, that's when it's starting to feel rough here for the Holy Roman Empire. We see villagers going to be going down. Magic going to be losing his villager lately. He's down to 2,000 army value, 14 units on the field, and one of that's it's going to be a ram. And we see B dropping down 3 of these. He's going to take out the TC, going to be taking out the Burgrave Palace here, and then B, you know, then he can just look to take down these landmarks.
And I have to say, right, if you highlight the keep that Magic dropped, what does it realistically protect? It protects a little bit for your wood line that is now gone regardless. So this keep could have been used to much greater effect in the middle of your base. Protect your farm, put a relic inside of it, get it tanky, get a springle emplacement. You're not Imperial yet, so you can't get cannon placement, but it will still be doing a whole lot more than some of these towers that I don't even think has any emplacements inside of them.
Yeah, actually, no, he has a spring replacement through. There's also a relic in there, so that's going to be providing some good damage here. And we see Magic. He's trying to go in here with mass lance connects. 14 lance connects, you know, these are doing some decent damage. He's up to 4,000 army value, but I think the mass of crossbowman mass here for B is just too big. You can see he's doing some great kiting right here. But Magic still finding some value there. It's probably not the worst fight for him, but he just needs to try and hold on.
I mean, he just needs to try on, right? And the stagger formation from the crossbows coming in clutch, and Magic taps out. GG, B wins the series.
B winning the series 2-1. 3 crazy games that we have just had right there, and B going to be coming victorious here, playing as the Abbasid dynasty up against the Holy Roman Empire.